this is Nathaniel from the To Hell and Back podcast, just doing a little short kind of recap of the Hull City's season. Where I predicted us to finish was 19th, and I'm very happy to say that I was correct. We've been 19th almost every week, or 20th or 18th, since we had our pivotal change to a 3 at the back in around October. We've been 19th-ish since then, so I'm glad that on the last day of the season we stayed there, because at one point we were in 18th, which I wouldn't have been happy with. So we finished 19th. The main important goal for the season, as it is with any promoted team, is just to stay up, and then you can rebuild for next year, especially as we had a transfer embargo and a very young, inexperienced squad that had only really played in League One or League Two or in Scotland or that sort of thing. So it was really important that we just stayed up. We've done that comfortably, and we're looking forward to next season. Our best player, Keane Lewis-Potter is the star boy. He's in all the headlines. I'm skipping ahead here to another question, but he may well be leaving for a big money move, just like Bowen did a few years ago. Jacob Greaves is another one he won Young Player of the Season at the awards recently, and the young centre half who's been fantastic as well. I was saying it on our own podcast recently. We've got all these great young players and players that we think have had a really good season. So I don't know why we finished so low as 19th if we're all good. But Lewis-Potter has been our top goal scorer with either 11 or 12, depending on your opinion on the goal he scored or not. Whether just against Nottingham Forest recently in the last minute of the season, he's claiming that one, even though I don't think he even touched it. But he was our top goal scorer, and I'd give him Player of the Season, just because we've needed at least one player to score a lot of goals, because defensively we've been very solid, but going forward has not been anywhere near as good. I think we might be the second or the third lowest scorers in the whole league, so that's something we need to work on over the summer to buy a striker. The best ground I've visited this season, well, I guess it's the best ground is the KCOM or the MKM, of course, our own stadium, but I've been to Huddersfield and Stoke away. Not exactly the nicest away days, but Huddersfield was just a half an hour walk from me, because I was there for university, so I guess that was quite convenient to go to the Huddersfield Hull game then. Players who might stay or go, there's a fair few players out of contract. Ingram, the goalkeeper who's currently at Luton on an emergency loan deal, he may well leave. We know Tom Huddleston will. There's a few up in the air, but hopefully team captain Richie Smallwood stays, because he's been fantastic again, although he gets a lot of unfair criticism. And Honeyman, one of the most energetic footballers I've ever seen, hopefully he stays, he signs a new contract. And then Jacob Greaves has said that he definitely wants to sign a new contract, so he'll stay for a few years, whereas I think Lewis-Potter will have to offer him a new deal, but I don't think he'll stay. I think but unlike with Bowen, if we do sell him, we'd actually be able to spend the money wisely. And then there's Malik Wilkes, who has been injured a fair bit. Apparently we want to keep him. He's very, very promising, very talented young forward, but has played terribly this season. He's been a bit of a flop after a great season in League One. So I don't really know whether I want him to stay or not. We might just keep him for next year and maybe sell him, but the contract situation, unlike maybe a few other clubs, is more up in the air. We haven't announced the retained list yet, but hopefully Honeyman and Greaves stay, and I think Lewis-Potter will go. Those are the main ones. And then expectations for next season depends on the summer, of course, as it does at every club. Our new owner, we don't really know how much he's going to spend yet, but apparently it will be a whole lot more than the previous regime. So, his aim that he's said since about January when he came in was, he wants to get the club back into the Premier League. I don't think we'll be able to do that next season, but I don't think we'll go down. Maybe we'll sign a few players and improve, but we've got a young squad, so we don't have to go up next season, really. So I'll predict something like, maybe 14th to 10th. So let's say 12th. That's not my official prediction though, but something like that. So really, it's been a very good season for Hull. Took 4 points off Swansea, and we'll see you again next season.
Hey guys, Reece here, Cardiff fan, just doing my end of season review. Start of the season, I predicted we'd finish mid-table. We actually finished 18th, so yeah, not a great season. Top goal scorers were Aidan Flint and Ruben Colwell, both got 6 goals. The best ground I visited, unfortunately I didn't visit any this year, as I live in Australia now. So yeah, can't really answer that one. Next season, I think if we can bring in the right sort of players, get some young hungry players, then I think maybe mid-table. And then obviously the season after, then we'll have to push on, see if we can get up the table a bit further. Obviously there's a few players out of contract this year. I'm hoping that Leonardo Bacuna goes, because he is dreadful. But there's going to be a massive turnover in players. I think maybe 12 will leave, and we're going to have to probably bring 10 or 12 in. So it's going to be an interesting summer for us as Cardiff fans, and yeah, hopefully we can climb back up the table and produce a better performance next season. Best of luck to all teams next season. See you later, guys. Thank you.
Right, so thanks for having me on the channel then. So yeah, I've got a few things to talk about. Firstly, where I predicted us to finish and where we did finish. So at the start of the season I said 9th, I was quite confident. I know it was our first season under Russell Martin, he came in quite close to the start of the season, but I thought, yeah, 9th, maybe just outside playoffs, but we finished 15th, so I was 6 places off. And then who's been our top scorer this season was Joel Pirro, and then the best player of the season, obviously the award was given to Joel Pirro, however I would slightly edge it to Flynn Downs because of his consistency. Thirdly, the best ground I've visited this season then. So I've been to 5 grounds. I've been to Medeski at Reading, Pride Park, obviously Derby, Ashton Gate, Bristol, the City Ground, Forest, and the Hawthorns in West Brom. But the best one I've been to, I'd probably have to say the City Ground, Nottingham Forest. I think just the size of the stadium, the atmosphere is quite good as well. So I'd have to say the City Ground. Obviously the result wasn't great when we went there though. And then what I expect from next season, so I'm probably going to say mid-table to top 6. I want to be optimistic and say top 6, however I'm thinking mid-table again. As long as we finish higher than we did last season, then that's, a step in the right direction, but I'm going to say between mid-table and top 6. Who I think will stay and who I think will go then. So obviously the ones that are rumoured to go, I think the ones that will stay will be Downs, Obafemi and Grimes. And I think the ones that will go will be Perot and Ryan Bennett. And I think that Christie and Wolf won't extend their loans. So yeah, that's what I think. But obviously thanks for having me on the channel. And yeah, cheers.
Hello everyone, it's Tom Oxland. You might know me from Blues Focus podcast and other various blues channels. Just doing Birmingham City content, and that's what I'm here for today. Thanks to the Real Jack Army. A little quick season overview or review of our season, which hasn't been great. So it's not going to be the most positive video ever, but let's get into it. Where did I predict Blues to finish at the start of the season? Somewhere between 10th and 14th. I feel like probably my highest prediction of Blues would have been about 10th. I was hoping for 14th. Obviously hasn't gone that way at all. So yeah, there was a fair bit of optimism going into this season, which has sadly been completely dismantled, which I'm sure we will delve into shortly. Our team's top goal scorer is Scott Hogan, and our best player this season, our most consistent, is probably Matthias Sarkic, who we had on loan from Wolves. But then he dislocated his shoulder and had to go back to Wolves in January. So he actually only played half a season and won the Birmingham City Player of the Season award. So fair play to him. Really, really enjoyed watching Matty play. Very good goalkeeper at championship level, and I'm hoping we can bring him back ideally next season. Probably a shout out to Onel Hernandez and Juninho Bacuna as well. Who obviously they weren't as consistent as they could have been, but when they contributed well. 2 very, very skillful players, and I'd love to have Onel back at Blues as well. Best ground I've been to this season, very tough. I've enjoyed quite a few grounds this season. I always like Derby away. I think it's a really good away end. I don't mind Forest away because I think the City ground is a really, really just a good stadium, like a proper football ground. But my favourite, not so much for the away day sort of experience itself, because it was a 0-0 draw, but the stadium I enjoyed the most, probably the Kirklees Stadium. I think that's what it's called these days, which is Huddersfield Stadium. Obviously the concourse is outside, but I just think it's quite nice. You get a free programme. The beer and the food is good. Just overall, I thought Huddersfield's ground was quite a nice place. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a bit of an underdog there with Huddersfield Town. Number 4, expectations for next season. As of right now, I think we're favourites to go down next season. We just need to sort out the ownership issue, but we don't know how long that could take. Potentially no owners on the horizon. And if we can get new owners in, then great. We can have a bit more optimism. But, the longer this takes, the more damaging it is to our season, because we're not preparing for pre-season. We've just lost our assistant manager, Mark Kennedy, who's gone to become the new Lincoln manager. We don't know whether Bowyer's staying or going. So yeah, I feel like it all just depends on the ownership and whether it changes sooner or later. We don't know anything on transfers either, because it doesn't look like we're actually in the market for anything at the moment, because I don't think the owners want to spend anything, considering that they're probably going to be leaving soon. So yeah, not very optimistic right now, but things can change quickly in football. And last but not least, what players will stay and what players will go? Obviously all the loans will return back to their parent clubs. So like Onel Hernandez, Mati Sarkic, all them, very key players for us. Tatum Mengi. It wouldn't surprise me if obviously Pedersen and Bella are going at the end of their contract this season. Two good players at this level. Pedersen just hasn't really worked out in the end. Was quite good when he first joined us, but I think he wants to move on to a new challenge. And Bella, very, very good player at this level, struggles with injuries here and there, but a really, really good character to have at any club. But sadly, I just don't think he fits the system that we want to move forward with. But we don't even know if we're going to stick with that shape, because we don't know what manager is doing what, really. As you can tell, just a lot of uncertainty around Blues. So I couldn't really give you any definite, other than Pedersen and Bella, that are going to leave or are going to stay. Harley Dean will probably leave. And that's about it. Those are all the players that I could predict off the top of my head right now. So yeah, there's my season review. Quite bleak at Blues at the moment, but hopefully things can change soon. Good luck to Swansea for next season. I think both our clubs deserve better seasons, but it just looks like you're heading in the right direction and we're heading in the opposite way. But thank you for having me on again, and I'll see you soon. Keep right on.
Hey guys, Dan here from Talk Forest TV. Hope you're doing really well. Obviously, I'm here to talk about Forest this season. Been an unbelievable season. To say that we gave everyone a 20 points head start at the start of the season, to be in the playoff final on Sunday against Huddersfield, absolutely unreal. You asked me that after the first 7 games, I would have been like, not a chance to be up there. Not even challenging for the top 2 like we was up to that lost to Bournemouth. So it has been an unreal season. Just going to show how good we have been and how good Super Cooper has done at the club. It's been unreal. Just to show how good Super Cooper is as a manager, to take us up there. Some of the games at Bristol City away and all the home games were 1-0 down to win 2-1. Millwall away winning it in last minute. Bristol City, as I said, 2 goals in 60 seconds. It's just unreal, to say the least, how good it has been. And just that attitude that we Sheffield United away, Millwall away, So that never say that attitude to be like, yeah, we're not going to lose, we will carry on, and we got our rewards from it, so it's absolutely brilliant and really, really happy. I mean, all the players as well, they took to the new style really well. It's since January, this cup one gave us that confidence, and since January our form's just been unbelievable, and the football we play as well, we're playing with confidence, and the players are doing really, really well. So tell us what you think in the chat, and actually thank you.
Hello everyone, this is my second take because my first one was too long to send on Facebook, so I'm just going to wrap it up and keep it short. Expectations for the season. I kind of hope mid-table. I always dream promotion, but mid-table is better than nothing. If you told me at the start of the season we would finish 8th, I would have bitten your hand off. If you told me we would be in the playoffs with 2 games to go, I would have bitten your hand off. As it was, it didn't quite work out that way. We were so close, but it's all very well being good the first half of the season. You need to be really good in the second half of the season. Like what the Nottingham Forest did and the Huddersfields and the Lutons. They came from nowhere right at the end. We came from nowhere just right at the start. We just couldn't maintain it for the end of the season, all the way through. Which is a shame, but honestly, it wasn't a terrible season. There was a lot of fun. There was a lot of negativity in the middle. We weren't good enough towards the end. The players bottled it, but B- is fine. If I had to rate it out of a grade system, which I am a teacher, I am a tutor, and that is sort of how I work. So yeah, a solid B-. Not awful, not wonderful. A little bit of little okay. Obviously disappointed with how it turned out, but like I said, I would have been happy with it at the start of the season. Goal scorers. Brereton was the best ever since he became Brereton Diaz. He's suddenly become amazing. 22 goals for the season, not too bad. But when you consider that he got to 20 just after Christmas, shows how it could have been. He was injured for quite a big chunk of it, which is a shame because it would have been good to see him try and get more goals. My player of the year was Van Heck, or Van Hecker, however you pronounce it. Different people say different things. Our Dutch defender from Brighton on loan, 21 years old. Absolutely amazing. Loved the club, played with so much passion. For a loan player, the love he seemed to share for the fans, the love he seemed to have for the fans was just amazing. He just really seemed to love the club. I really hope we can sign him in the summer, but I doubt it. The only bad thing he did was the karate kick at Fulham, where he got sent off when we lost 7-0 at home. I've seen the replays. He got practically decapitated him. If it had been in the streets, he would have faced a GBH trial for sure. But love him to pieces, and I will miss him. The thing is, you should never fall in love with a lone player, right? That's what they say. The only ground I went to this season was Ewood. I didn't go to many games this season for whatever reason. To make excuses, I don't drive. I don't really know many people I can go to games with. And I went to a few, and the ones I went to I enjoyed. I saw a win, a loss, and a draw. So there you go. I will try and make an effort to go to more next season. But I say that every season. It just depends on money and whatnot. Life gets in the way sometimes. But I do love Ewood anyway. Expectations for next season? Mid-table. I'd love to challenge for promotion. I'd love to push on. We're in a transition period at the moment. We don't have a manager. We've lost half of our players. And I'm not sure. On one hand, I'm quite optimistic for the future. On another hand, I'm quite scared because I don't really know what to expect. So I'm feeling a little bit not really sure. We've definitely got Dak on a contract. We've definitely got an option on Brereton for a year, which is good. Gallagher's signed a contract. Dolan, our star midfielder, has signed a contract. Our future potential captain, Travis, has signed on. We've lost Rothwell, which is a big blow to me because he was a big influence in the dressing room. But, I think he was a big influence in the dressing room, but I will miss him because he's a good player. However, he should have gone in January, really. He was desperate to leave and we persuaded him to stay. And I think he was possibly the reason why we didn't get promotion, because there was a bit of, disharmony between the players. We've also lost Bradley Johnson, who really is a good influence in the dressing room. But he's getting old now, so I don't really feel too bad to let him go. Lenihan is out of contract. He will be a big miss, our captain. Nyambi's out of contract. I think he will be a miss as well. Hopefully we can tie them down. Don't know about any of the other players. We've lost our loan players. We have quite a few good loan players. They've all gone back to their respective clubs. So I don't really know if anyone else will go. We'll have to see. I'm quite excited about the summer. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, to seeing how the new manager does get on. I hope he's appointed soon because, he's got a lot to do. But yeah, we will see how it goes. Looking forward to pre-season. I've got a few games planned that I'm intending to travel to. And yeah, I hope that, that everybody has a good summer and bring on the next season. I'm going to shut up. See you later. Thanks. Bye.
Well, it is, Darren. Yeah, wanted me to do a season preview. I actually predicted Stoke that again in the top 6 this season playoffs. Yep. Don't know why, but I actually had a bet on Stoke to finish in the playoffs this year. Yeah, I am a Mighty Potter supporter and love Stoke to bits. But I was telling Darren in a message, I haven't had a season ticket for a couple of years now. So, average performance by Stoke. 14th in the table, average, should have done better start to the season. Where do I think Stoke will finish next year? I want to finish the playoff, but they've got to do definitely better. What player do I think the best player this season? Well, it's got to be Jacob Brown, hasn't it? Leading goal scorer for Stoke. Jacob Brown, best player. Josh Diamond's coming a bit as well, but who do you think will leave? I think Joanne's been linked with Swansea City out of the contract. He's a good player, good captain. He has been a good captain, good player for Stoke. So Joe Allen definite. I think they get rid of a few French players. Don't know yet. But where do you think Stoke finish next year? Come on, Stoke. We've got to finish the players. We've got to do better. So this is from a Stoke City fan based in Stoke-on-Trent, 2 miles from the ground. To Darren. Thanks very much for asking me to do this, Darren. It's been a pleasure to do videos for you. So, Darren, all best for Swansea next year. And I'll see you over and out. Stoke City signing now. Thank you, guys. See you.
Hey guys, Dan here from Talk Forest TV. Hope you're doing really well. Obviously, I'm here to talk about Forest this season. Been an unbelievable season. Say that we gave everyone a 20 points head start at the start of the season. To be in the playoff final on Sunday against Huddersfield, absolutely unreal. You asked me that after the first 7 games, I would have been like, not a chance to be up there. Not even challenging for the top 2 like we was up to the lost to Bournemouth. So it has been an unreal season. Just to show how good we have been and how good Super Cooper has done at the club. It's been unreal. Just to show how good Super Cooper is as a manager to take us up there. Some of the games at Bristol City away and all the home games were 1-0 down to win 2-1. Millwall away winning it in last minute. Bristol City, as I said, 2 goals in 60 seconds. It's just unreal to say the least how good it has been, and just that attitude that Sheffield United away, Millwall away, Stoke, that attitude to be like, yeah, we're not going to lose, we will carry on, and we got our rewards from it, so it's absolutely brilliant and really, really happy. all the players as well, they took to the new style really well. It's since January, this cup one gave us that confidence, and since January our form's just been unbelievable, and the football we play as well, we're playing with confidence, and the players are doing really, really well. So tell us what you think in chat, and actually thank you.
Hello guys, it's Jen, and I'm doing the Deserts season review, and I think that Swansea, I predicted them to go on like something like the 6th or like 7th place, but they end up being around in the mid-table. So yeah, I thought they would do like better, but like hopefully next season we'll get some better results. And our team's top scorer is Joel Pirou, and the best player of the season, I think yeah, Pirou, or even like Matty Grimes or Flying Downs are playing pretty well. I think our team has a good possession, but like however it's pretty it's like in somewhere like FIFA, like you always pass the ball at the back, and you are not, when you want to attack you just lose the ball. Like yeah, I'm a new player, so yeah. And like the best ground I've visited this season, because I'm in Hong Kong, so I haven't got a chance to visit Wales, but like hopefully I can get to Swansea for like when I grow up or sometime. And expectations for next season is that I hope we can like not sell too much of our players, and I think Martin's like his tactic is really nice, and like but we just need some more time to build up and like train our players, and I hope that next season we can finish like in our upper table, like somewhere in the 9th place or 10th place. And I think that Joel Pirou will go for like £5 million, and yeah, Yanks will let him go on cheap, and Flynn Downs too, and hopefully we can keep someone like we can keep Matty Grimes, or like yeah, I think not much players to like Obafemi might play better next season, and Ncham, hopefully he can play a bit more and get involved. And I hope like we can sign someone like Joe Allen, some more solid players, like some more like veteran players. And yeah, thank you for inviting me, and hopefully next season it will be better, guys. Come on, you Swans!
What is up, guys? It's Brad Barbs, and Darren has asked me to review Huddersfield Town's season. Obviously now it's all calmed down since the playoff final at Wembley. I do believe that game was controversial for obvious reasons, but he's asked me to review our season best I can. I think we finished a lot higher than I predicted. I predicted 13th roughly. Finished 3rd, great season, can't complain at all. And obviously, you know, with key players like Nichols being involved, obviously best keeper in the league this season for me, and was voted as well. O'Brien was class, Danny Ward was class, and the defence was solid. You know, last season, the one before just gone, we were the worst team defensively in the league, and now we were, I think, the best or second best in terms of clean sheets. So obviously that is massive for the improvement. But yeah, I think the staff have done a very good job in turning the club around this season, and I couldn't be prouder personally. In terms of next season, I expect us to be straight back up there again. You know, we've set the standard now, and I expect another season of good football and of getting results grinded out. As long as Carlos is in charge of this football club, there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing that and going for the playoffs or even the automatic spot again. There's no reason why we're not capable of it after getting to Wembley and just missing out so narrowly. So I'm hopeful that we'll do that. In terms of players that may be leaving, we may see O'Brien go to a Prem team. Sorba may go if the price is right. But apart from that, I feel like we're really safe and secure with the rest of the team. Hopefully Nichols stays, though. That's a massive one. But yeah, I'd like to thank Darren for allowing me to feature in this video, and wish him all the best.
Hey guys, how's everyone keeping? I hope everyone is keeping well. Excuse me. It's been a while since I've done a video for Darren, so I apologise in advance if I'm a tad rusty, but yeah, Darren's asked me to do like a sort of end of season review, you know, just my general thoughts of the season and just my general thoughts on it, really. So at the start of the season, I predicted the Swans to finish 13th, and we actually finished 15th, so slightly lower than I anticipated, but overall, considering that you know, we didn't have a manager until about 3 or 4 days before the start of the season against Blackburn, I would take that any day, to be honest with you. I just was hoping that we wouldn't go down, and you know, I didn't expect us to be in a relegation scrap by any means, but yeah, not quite as high as I was anticipating, but you know, 15th I'll take pretty much any day, to be honest with you. Our top goal scorer was actually Joe Peru with 22 goals in all competitions, I believe it was. Just behind him, I believe, was Ogafemi with 12 goals, I believe it was. So yeah, you know, good first season for the two of them. Our best player, in my honest opinion, though, was Flynn Downs. You know, the way how he handled the midfield alongside Matty Grimes, I thought the two of them were brilliant together and formed a really good partnership together, to be honest with you. So very impressed by his first season with the Swans. The best ground I visited throughout the season, I would probably have to say Coventry, you know, or the CBS Arena, I believe it's called now. It used to be called the Arico Arena. I believe it's called the CBS Stadium now, or the Coventry Building Society Stadium, something like that anyway. But yeah, my overall thoughts on that stadium is it's just a fantastic stadium. You know, it's beautiful. You know, it was a shame that we played them on a Tuesday night, really, because, you know, not as many Swansea fans made the trip there as probably would have done had we played them on a Saturday. So, slightly disappointed that game was played on a Tuesday night, to be honest with you. But yeah, stadium as a whole, brilliant, wonderful stadium. The best ground I visited as not just as a ground, but as a day as a whole, I would probably have to say Blackpool. You know, I thought Blackpool was absolutely brilliant. The locals were fantastic. The Manchester pub put on a very nice welcome for us, playing the Welsh national anthem, but yeah, that was my favourite away day as a whole. You know, as I say, when we played Coventry, it was a Tuesday night, so you couldn't really make a day of it, really, unless if you went up early by train. So, yeah, those two grounds would be my favourite for this season. My expectations for the upcoming season, I don't think we'll make the playoffs, to be honest with you. I think we're going to fall just slightly short of the playoffs. If we keep players such as Joe Peru, Ogafemi, Jamie Patterson, you know, Flynn Downs, we sign Cyrus Christie and possibly Hannes Wolf as well, which I don't think will happen. Maybe we could push on for the playoffs, but if we don't, then I can't see us making the playoffs, to be honest with you. You know, some of the signings that we've already made, I'm delighted that we've signed Nathan Wood from Middlesbrough. And I believe we are linked to another defender from Sunderland. I can't pronounce his name to save my life. But Nathan Wood, I'm very happy with that signing. You know, seems like a good young upcoming player. You know, he's hungry, and so I'm over the moon with that signing. I would love to see us re-sign Cyrus Christie, even if it's just on a season-long loan, possibly sign him next season or sign him this year. But yeah, he's another one I would love to see down here. In terms of outgoings, I won't be at all surprised if Joe Peru leaves, to be honest with you. You know, with the season that he had last year, he most probably deserves a shot in the Premier League. And with the likes of Leicester City being linked to him, I think he deserves a shot at the Premier League, to be honest with you. But hopefully we can keep him. Ogafemi, I would like to see stay in, as I said before. But yeah, I think we could do with another goalkeeper as well. Who, I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say no to Samba from Nottingham Forest, but I can't see him coming to Swansea when he's just been promoted to the Premier League with Nottingham Forest. So, and he's admitted, he said himself that he wants to leave Nottingham, so... But no, I can't see him being happy coming to Swansea when he's just been promoted to the Premier League. So, my overall thoughts of the season as a whole, I would probably say inconsistent. Well, not probably, I would say inconsistent, to be honest with you. We had spells in the season where we looked absolutely brilliant, and then we had spells in the season when we were absolutely awful. So, very inconsistent season from my point of view. But hopefully now that Russell Martin has a full pre-season, he's got the time to get the players in that he wants. So let's see how it goes and see where we are come Christmas time. So yeah, there's my thoughts. Take care, everyone. Come on, you Swans.
How are we doing? This is Twitter tag Daddy Rai Rai, Bristol City fan, with my review of last season for the Wheeljack Army and my predictions for next season. So before the season started, I predicted that we would be in the lower echelons of the table, and that is exactly where we finished. I think we ended the season on a bit of a high, stringing together a few wins, but on the whole the season probably could have been better. We seem to have continued our awful habit of conceding goals very late on in the game. I think there were some crazy stats out there, like if games finished at 89 minutes, Bristol City would have been in the top 6, or something along those lines. However, despite a season that overall could have been better, we did still have some shining stars. No better than Andy Weimann, 22 goals and 10 assists, just an absolutely fantastic player, works his socks off, and it was just fantastic to see him get the reward that he was due. He was due a season like that. Our other shining star, I would have to say, would be Antoine Semenyo. 8 goals and 12 assists for him this season. The only player at times that looked like he really wanted to get forward, showed some real flair, some real quality. Runs at defenders, absolutely terrifies fullbacks, and I'm really hopeful that next season he's really going to come into his own if we can keep hold of him. In terms of grounds visited last season, my personal favourite was City Ground, Nottingham Forest away. Not a great away day in that we lost 2-0. We weren't very good. They played us off the park. Brennan Johnson, Jed Spence and Zinchenko completely just absolutely bossed the game. I don't think we had a shot on target that day, to be honest. But in terms of the vibe, in terms of the atmosphere, it was an absolutely fantastic day. You could really see that Nottingham Forest were building something there. They were going to go on to do something at the end of the season, and evidently they did. In terms of expectations for next season, I feel very positive. I don't normally feel this positive before the start of the season, but the early signings that we've made, especially in Wilson and Naismith, beating out a host of other championship clubs to be able to sign those players is really shrewd business. I think Sykes from Oxford is also going to have a good role to play as well next season. Extending the big man, Tim Close, for another year as well. I think that's also fantastic business. Our defence did improve visibly when he was brought in, so hopefully it improves again next season. If we can keep that front three together, Martin, Weimann and Semenyo, 40 plus goal involvements last season. If they can do that again next season with the additions that we've brought in, then I do think we are going to improve on our league position. I do think there are much needed outgoings that need to happen in order for us to be able to improve our league position. I think Wells, possibly Callas, Palmer's obviously been heavily linked with, I think it was Coventry. Getting them all off our wage bill, I think that's going to be crucial to our success next season. I've seen that Masengo's been linked abroad as well. I think he's possibly on his way out, which is a shame. I'm still going to stay positive though. I'm going to predict a top half finish. let's go with 10. I hope we break into that top 10. I hope we kick on from how we concluded last season, which was scoring goals and not conceding as many. Fingers crossed. Come on, you Reds.